I am coming to you live on our vacation. We are out in the woods in North Texas and we are having a great time out here. My kids are, sometimes their kids are unpredictable. So that being said, going live extremely late for me tonight. Actually, I think I've gone live at this time a couple times before, but you know what? Consistency is key. So tonight we are talking about standing out from the competition and how to set yourself apart in a world full of cookie cutters. So typically what I do is I sing a song at the beginning to let people hop on if anyone's going to hop on tonight. So the song that I picked for tonight is a rendition of a Shawn Mendes song. So jump right into it. I rewrote the lyrics a little bit just for fun. All right. I won't lie to you. I know that's just not right for you. And you can tell me if I'm off, but I see it on your face when you say that you want DIY. And you're spending all this time in this wrong situation, and every time you want it to stop, I know I can show you a better way than they can. And anyone like you deserves a awesome plan. Tell me, why are you wasting time on all that wasted crying when you could work with me instead? I know I can show you a better way, better than they can. Okay, so if you're tuning in live, drop live down in the comments below. If you watch this on the replay, put replay down below so that I know you were here. I see Riley. Hey. I actually am going to address one of Riley's questions. It goes along perfectly with this. So let's start with your question, man. So Riley asked, what is the #1 most important thing when it comes to boosting engagement? And so when we're talking about engagement, we're talking about, it could be a Facebook group, it could be a Facebook page, it could be on your profile, it could be on any kind of social platform. So when it comes to boosting engagement, the #1 most important thing that you could possibly do is cultivating a relationship. So a lot of people talk about it like the like, know, and trust factor. If you can focus on how to get them to like you, know you, trust you, and the best way to do that is by building some kind of a relationship. So whether it's dropping videos, knowledge, leadership, information, helping people out when they need help, things like that, that's going to be the absolute best way to get people engaging with you, because then they like you, they know you, they trust you. So that's the #1 thing. I use that. I actually have several different techniques and strategies that we use inside of groups to help boost engagement in groups using that factor alone. My question for you guys tonight is, what makes you different than your competition? What makes you different than your competition? And I'm not sure if you've heard the term, like we all live in a world of abundance, so we're competing against ourselves. But when it comes to your competition, you have to know what your competition is doing when it comes to the marketplace. So what makes you different? What makes you stand out from your competition? So going into the next question comes from Yasha. Hey, Alyssa, what's up, girl? I haven't seen you in forever. The next question comes from Yasha, and Yasha said, how many admins or moderators do you need per member count in a group? And honestly, it doesn't really have to do with the member count. It has to do with the engagement. So depending on the engagement size of the group, I mean, if you only have 100 people in a group that are actively engaging all the time, then, you know, one person can handle that pretty easily. But if you have several thousand and only 100 people are actually engaging, one person can still handle that pretty easily. But if you have several thousand and all of them are engaging, then you're gonna need several. And so I actually help with that whenever I'm working with people on the C5 strategy. We walk through how many people they have and where they're at actively so that they know how many people to bring on for admins and moderators. And we walk through standard operating procedures and how to set up evaluations, and I give templates for that and everything. So when it comes to setting up your group, I mean, Yasha, I'm pretty sure I know that you don't have a group yet. So at that point, I wouldn't even worry about it, man. What I would say is, if you're just starting a group, you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to get everybody engaged, to get them coming on to the group and showing up consistently, to get them communicating with each other and having a really good time online. Because what do people do whenever they come to Facebook? They come to Facebook to socialize, maybe to learn, but most of all to connect. And so you want to make sure that you're providing them that opportunity to connect with other people. Before I jump into the other questions, and if you guys have questions, drop them down below, But before I jump into the other question, I want to talk about the title of this, which is standing out from your competition and how to not be a cookie cutter. So one of the biggest things that happens that I see in Facebook groups all the time is that you'll see there's one entrepreneur's Facebook group, there's another entrepreneur's Facebook group, there's one coach's group, there's another coach's group. And the thing is that they're so similar that, I mean, you're going to go into each of them and you're going to interact the exact same way with every single group that you go into. So how do you set yourself apart? How do you make yourself look different? What do you do? At that point, when you jump into a group of all these entrepreneurs who are so used to acting a certain way, who are so used to engaging a certain way, they're used to posting and commenting a certain way, how do you make that different? And the difference is that you actually build a community. So one of the things that I see in most of these marketing groups and these sales groups and these entrepreneur groups is that the people that come in there, they're actually in there to advertise, they're in there to sell, they're in there to try and set themselves up as a leader so that people will buy from them. So they're coming in from this attitude of taking instead of giving. And if you can cultivate a group where people are giving more than they're taking every single time, and I don't just mean like dropping value, so people posting these like long novels about how you can do better in sales or do better in marketing or how you can make your business show up better. That's not what I'm talking about, because those are good and those are helpful. But when everybody's doing it all the time, it kind of gets old hat. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that people are actually communicating, they're getting to know each other, they're showing up, they're there for a reason other than just selling themselves. And so the biggest thing that you can do to make your group not cookie cutter is actually develop and cultivate those relationships, like the question that Riley asked earlier. So if you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. The next question from Yasha is, how much time should I devote to planning for the group strategy before I start the group? And when you work with me, we do the strategy in advance and we spend about a week. Typically, we spend about a week before we actually launch the group. And it could be up to 2 weeks, but I mean, honestly, if you're just starting out, I mean, creating a group isn't hard. One of the biggest things that I hesitate on is if you're picking the name for your group, you don't want to do that right away, because if you pick the name for your group, then that's going to, you can only switch your name every 28 or 29 days. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but you can only change your group name every so many days. So you want to make sure that you pick your name out the way you want to pick it right when you're going to start it. And that's the only thing we really hesitate on. And we just make sure that that lines up with your underlying mission and purpose behind what you want to do in the future of your group, because we're planning for longevity whenever we build a strategy. So I would say if you want to start a group, just start a group. The next question is, should I start a group and secure my name before having a strategy? And I think I just answered that. So again, I'm on vacation, guys, and I just, I go live every Tuesday and I didn't want to miss a Tuesday. And so I had screaming kids earlier. It was super fun. He said he was tired, he was falling asleep, but then as soon as I started taking him away from grandma, he started screaming, and it was a lot of fun. But if you guys tune in live, put live down below. I see that there's 3 people watching. Hi, 3 people. I can't see who you are, but I keep checking my laptop to see if anyone comments, because for whatever reason on cell phones now, I can't see the comments whenever I'm going live. And I'm used to being at home and having all of my lighting set up and everything. Oh, that's crazy. On my phone, it doesn't look like I can see as much, and then on my camera, I can see that we're out in cabins. You see those beautiful pictures behind me and the furniture? Oh, this is funny. So I can wait another minute, and if anyone has a question, drop it down below. The question that I asked for everybody tonight was, what makes you different from your competition? And even if you're competing against yourself, like for me, I'm competing against myself, and I'm competing against who I was a month ago, who I was 2 months ago, who I was yesterday. So what makes me different than my competition? And the difference is that right now I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm doing things better than I was yesterday, and I'm showing up as a better version of myself every single day. So if you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments below, because it looks like this is going to be a short live tonight. I don't even know how long I've been going live. Probably like, 10-15 minutes. Yeah, so last week I answered a bunch of questions in regards to Facebook engagement, some stuff about automation. The week before that, I did a few questions about Facebook groups. And I'm always talking about Facebook engagement because I'm really good at that. But if you guys have any questions, you can drop them down below. And if I don't get to them tonight, I will, like, even if you watch this on the replay, drop your questions in the comments and I will answer it on the next live. I worked on a song. I've actually been working on it off and on for a while, and I sang that at the beginning. But it's been a day, guys. Vacation's supposed to be fun, right? My son, my 12-year-old son, he had his final surgery at the beginning of last month. And while we were out here, I don't know if he scraped his hand or what happened, but he woke up this morning with his finger bleeding on one of his skin graft sites. So we ended up having to, I told him he could swim today, but he had to keep his hand out of the water. So he was pretty upset, and we had a fun conversation about that. But yeah, that's vacation for us right now. Figuring out how to adapt life and how to keep things going, even when things get tough. So it doesn't look like anyone else has any questions. I think I scrolled on the comments. So you guys, I am so excited to be back in Oklahoma next week and showing up for Tuesday Live. Then if you guys have any thoughts or questions between now and Tuesday next week, let me know. I'm gonna go live earlier in the day, not so late at night. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you next time.